Dear friends, dear defenders of education, dear education defenders of culture, dear lovers of education. This evening, I want to make this short video to talk about my opinion on how, or to share my opinion with you on how we could preserve our languages and make them more attractive to other people. And as we know, culture in general and languages in particular are very dynamic in nature. That means they change with time. They influence other languages and are influenced by other languages and cultures. For that reason, with time, due to the influence received, depending on the way the language has been used, the language can gradually grow while transforming itself somehow, or gradually die if it is abandoned, if it is not used. Why is it so? Why is it that most of our African languages, or some of our African languages, are about getting extinct, are getting destroyed, are dying out, are disappearing? It's because of many reasons. And some of the reasons are that because the languages were mostly oral languages that were transmitted through oral tradition, they were not written in such a way that one could see. But even if they were written, they could still become dead in such a way that no one will understand and will need much stress in order to somehow resurrect it. The main reason I see for the dying of our languages is the colonial domination, or the domination from colonial languages that led to our languages being neglected to the extent that the younger generations were no longer taught the languages. They are no longer in contact with some of the languages. And finally, the people who knew the languages, being dominated by the colonial languages, finally have completely died out, have completely disappeared, and therefore disappeared with the languages. This is pathetic. This is a call for concern. But what can we do to preserve our languages? What we can do to preserve our languages is that we have to be proud to learn those languages, to use them, and above all, to transmit them in their originality. Transmit them to the younger generations of our own groups, linguistic groups, and to other persons. And to be able to make sure that it is transmitted to our own and to other people who are interested, our languages have to be attractive and they have to be attractive and seemingly useful. They have to be having some benefits in them. And therefore, to make our languages attractive, what can we do? We have to bury in them precious treasures that can attract different people. And what can these precious treasures be? Scientific publications that are life-changing. It could be artistic works, artistic publications of different literary genres, poetry, novels, stories, all kinds of artistic works. If we bury them in our languages, if we embellish our languages with them, people who are interested in them will come for those things, and in order to get them, they will certainly learn our languages. Music as well is one of those treasures that we have to put in our languages, that we have to hide in our languages in order to make them attractive to ourselves but to other people. A common example that we could look at is languages that are easily recognizable among us are the languages that have many beautiful musical publications in them. Most of us can easily recognize Lingala, for example. And in the case of Cameroon, many people who are not Nsot people, Nsot people are a group of people from the northwest of Tikar origin. Most non-Nsot people can recognize the Nsot language. You know why? because so people are proud of who they are and they speak the language everywhere and at all times. But above all, because they have buried in that language precious art work, particularly music, that people listen to, that people enjoy, that people are accustomed to listening to. And that way it makes them easy. It makes it easy for them to at least even recognize the language. And from the point of recognition, maybe the interest can grow to the point of learning, of wanting to understand in order to understand the message, in order to enjoy the music more. Therefore, we should do everything at our level to make sure that everything in our part to make sure that we preserve our languages. As I said, by learning them with pride, by using them properly and all the time, but above all by transmitting them faithfully to the younger generation. Make them attractive as well by burying in them precious treasures, that priceless treasures that other people will like to have. And that way they will come for the languages. God bless you. Take care and remain blessed.